Hi, I'm Coach Francis, and today in this video, I'm going to show you how to stop sculling or yipping your wedge shots from around the green. We all know how frustrating it can be when we're that close to the pin, or we finally get the ball close to the hole, and we end up chunking or blading a shot 2, 3, or 4 times away than where we first started. A lot of times for us, we're just not controlling our low point. In this video, I'm going to teach you what low point actually means, show you how to find your low point, and give you a special drill on how to start working on controlling your low point better from shots 50, 40, 30 yards and in. And if you can do that, then I guarantee that you'll be able to upgrade your ball striking with your full swing, irons, and even into the woods. Now stick around to the end of this video because that's when I'm going to show you your drill, but also I'm going to be giving away a Vokey SM10 wedge. Yes, a brand new wedge shipped to a lucky winner. All you have to do is subscribe to our channel, like this video, and comment. Well, actually, I'm going to tell you what to comment below later on in this video. All right, let's get started. So I'm about 20 feet, 7 paces from the target that I set up behind me right here. Here, I'm just gonna work on tempo. I'm gonna work on my drills. So one of my first drills here is to hit shots with my right foot almost off the ground, all my way to my left foot, and I'm working on controlling my low point. Low point just means the bottom of your arc. We swing on an arc. The club moves on an arc. Moves around your body, it moves up and down through space. Keeping the weight on the front foot is something that's really important here. So if I can't lift my right foot up off the ground, then there's not enough weight on my front foot. I like working on these shots with one hand at first to remind myself of what kind of tempo I'm looking for. If I hit a bad shot, then the first thing I do is think about what did I feel there to allow me to hit a thin shot like that. Well, most likely my weight was behind the golf ball and my hands ended up swinging up through the shot. So I want to be a little steep with this shot. I want my hands to work down into the golf ball. So that time I let the club move back a little bit straighter and I let the club move down. Now there, which is my typical miss if I'm not hitting wedges well, is I would feel like my head falls back or I move down into my shot. So one of the things that I like to focus on here as well is not only lifting my right foot up, but staying tall and letting the hands move down through. I talk about low point a lot in the golf tip videos that I push out. So I'm gonna show you right now using our swing plane what actually a low point is. We swing on an arc. The low point technically is the bottom point of this arc. The club rides up and down this plane. It goes up and down this arc. Now, there are times when we're chipping where we feel like we chunked the ball. Well, how would that happen? Well, at some point during the swing on the way down, the weight could fall backwards. And that could be from our body wanting to get lower to the ground or our head wanting to move back. Usually those two things complement each other. But one of the things I like to focus on here is making sure that I can control my low point. I've always thought, my dad used to tell me this too, because he was a student of the game, your low point's gonna be somewhere around your sternum with these short shots, shots that we're not shifting our weight back and forth from our back foot to our front foot. So if I were wearing this huge gold chain and it could hang a charm right down from my neck, right where that club is falling is pretty much gonna be the bottom part of my arc, all things considered. If I shift backwards, the bottom part of my arc goes back. So we wanna make sure that we're letting the club move up the plane and move down through the plane. Keep the pressure on the front foot. So let's do that over here. One of the things I'm looking for here is to see if I am controlling my low point by keeping my sternum ahead of the golf ball. Now, one-handed swings have always felt easy to me, probably because I could feel the weight of the golf club swing back and through. So I'm trying to keep my chest and my golf club in line as I go back and through. Let's try that again. Weight a little bit forward, chest stays forward, back and through. So one thing we talked about before was the idea of making sure the sternum stays on top of the golf ball or just in front of it. Now, if your body tends to slide you might just hit it thin. Let's do that again. Let the hands thump into the ground. So practice swing, load, posting that front side, load, posting that front side. By posting, I mean tucking the butt under the hips through your shot, right here. Load and post, almost in the hole. We're gonna go over ball placement for the different shots that you're looking for around the green. One's gonna be just your standard chip, standard pitch, let's say. So I'm gonna place my ball about middle stance, keep my feet fairly close together. From here, I'm gonna open up the face just a little bit. I wanna get this ball a little bit higher than normal. And I feel like I'm taking the club just about here, trying not to break the wrist at all. The one thing I do in my swing is sometimes I'll lean back. I want to feel like instead of leaning back this way, I'm getting that right shoulder to go over the golf ball. There we go. Pitch. Beautiful. A lot of us tend to lean, or we think, okay, we got to get down to the golf ball. That right shoulder goes back behind you for us righties, or the left shoulder for us lefties, and that ends up dipping the club back behind the shot. Your low point goes behind the golf ball, and you start to bounce the club into the ball. So you could scull it across the green or chunk it. So I'm thinking right shoulder, down and through the golf ball. You'll feel like you're tilted a little bit more on your trail side. So for us righties, it's the right shoulder. I feel like my right shoulder is going down through my shot. Body still facing the target. I call this loading and posting. Posting meaning I'm in a nice straight position into my left foot, into my left leg. I'm gonna feel like my weight stays on my front foot, and I'm gonna let my right shoulder get all the way through my shot. So I call this loading and posting. It's okay to use the bounce. We're not off perfect lies. Depending on the grind that you have on your wedges, you're gonna feel the ground differently. I'm currently using a Wedgeworks Bob Vokey designed V grind. It's nice and low bounce. It's got a nice low bounce when I place the handle more forward, so I can really pick it that way off tight lies. Or I could expose the bounce a little bit more and let the handle play back. With this shot, I like to play the handle up. I like the toe down. I like to open the face a little bit. So I clip it off that part of the club that is ground down to be really close to the ground. Everyone has different wedges and bounces on their wedges. Learn how you can use your wedge most effectively. It's wintertime in Texas. We're not getting the best lies around the greens. I have about a 20-foot chip here. I'm looking at just pitching this ball or chipping this ball right to the front of the green, letting it roll out. I have a Bob Vokey Wedgeworks 60-degree club in my hand with the V grind. Now the 60-degree lob wedge with the V grind allows for less of a bounce when the handle is forward. And if the handle goes back, it adds a lot more bounce. Now, the way this club is designed is there's a lot of heel and toe relief, less thin of a flange, and a lot lower of a grind in the front section here. So if I want to pick it off a tight lie, I could go handle forward, hit a square face chip or pitch, and that ball will be hit perfectly. Now, I'm playing off something that's a little bit harder. You know, I want to get this ball up in the air. I don't want to just go handle forward, right? So what are we going to do? We're going to go toe down, because this club has a grind that's ground off more towards the toe. So I can go handle high, toe down, face slightly open. I'm going to play this little pitch. All right, off the toe, the ball comes out a little dead. It will roll out a little bit more too, but that's an easy way to knife that club into the ground off a bad lie. One of the things that I see a lot of amateurs who come to us for help struggle with is controlling the low point with their pitches. I have about a 30-yard pitch here that I'm going for. Something that I'll see typically is a lot of amateurs get their weight forward really well, and then all of a sudden they'll fall back. So if you think of the shoulder plane here, you watch where this club head is on my right shoulder. If I go down, this is fine, the weight's forward, but falling back, there's really no rotation of that chest. So the hands are left to fling through to try to get to the golf ball. If I'm thinking about keeping my club head right in front of my sternum, right in front of my belly button, this is what your chip shot or pitch shot would look like. Your right shoulder would go through your shot for us righties, or left shoulder for us lefties. So I'm gonna set up a ball here. I have 3 golf balls to show you 3 different shots. I'll set them up kind of right next to each other, in line, about the same width as my feet for these shots. I'm gonna pull in the back one. So back ball position off the inside part of my right heel. Handle is gonna be right in the center, so it's gonna show a slight forward shaft lean. I'm going to make sure my right shoulder does not go back and down, but it goes out to the golf ball. It'll look like this. Next shot, I'm gonna play it more middle. Handle is gonna be slightly middle. Same thing, weight forward, shoulder to the target. And lastly, ball off my left heel. Face could be slightly open to get a little bit more height off this. I'm just going about 20, or actually about 30 yards here. Weight forward, check my back foot. Yep, enough weights forward here. Right shoulder to the target. When you do that correctly, you'll hear that bounce thump into the ground. You'll start to strike your golf balls. You'll see a lot more spin when you're around the green.